Welcome everybody to OP Digital Blueprint. I shall put my teeth back in. That's better. I'm joined by my good friend Red and our lovely lady Gina Lever. Not sure where Collins is. I think he's working late, so hopefully he might be able to join us in a bit. But in the meantime, take it away, Jean.
Well, thanks, Andy. Hi, Red. It's great to be here again. I just wanted to, I know we're all very, very excited, just to be here in the new year and knowing what's coming. But I just wanted to start off with something that I found out happened, I guess, last week or weekend, January 10th and 11th, which was a conference in Dubai run by a company called Mind Valley. And they gathered all sorts of speakers to talk about AI. It was called Future Human. And some of the concepts, the reason I bring it up is because, we all have our favorite tools in the OES and with ONPASSIVE. And one of my favorites is the learning platform, right? So I think of that lifelong learning and how what I think Ash is really trying to do, which is free us up to give us the freedom so that we can live to our full potential. Learn, and that learning platform is going to give us that ability to do that, learn whatever we want, expand and grow. So with that in mind, I heard about this conference. And so they were discussing how, here is AI that's just moving at such a fast pace. It's doing creative things as well. And there's a lot of concern around that. Is AI going to replace humans as writers, as artists, and all this kind of thing? And I wanted to just, some of the speakers, they had such great ideas. And one of the first ones was a guy named Jay Shetty, Shetty. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, but his topic was, can AI ever have a soul? And the quote was, we're living in a time when AI is creating art, composing music, and even holding conversations. But AI, no matter how advanced, will never replicate what makes us human, our ability to love, empathize, and connect. And then it's not about fearing machines. It's about amplifying our unique gifts, which is what I think Ash is trying to do, to free us all to be able to do that. So that's what I wanted to start the conversation on today. I hope that's a fleshy topic.
That's a great start, Jean. Yes. Amplify our creative genius. I picked up on that, and I think this is a really good point because we've got all these chatbots now, and the Chat GPT and the AI bit here, and the another app here that uses AI, and but you're quite right. At the end of the day, this takes our creative genius and amplifies it to the next level. And I think that's a wonderful analogy of AI. I think that's great because most people think, well, AI is taking over. No, what it's doing is we as humans are programming it based upon what we know. Yeah. And some of this is then self-learning, but it cannot take over where what we have inside. It will never be as creative or as empathetic or as ambitious as we are. What are your thoughts, Red? I'm sure you'd like to add a few points.
Always. This is a great topic, and I think I'd like to start off by saying there's certainly a place for AI at the moment in society generally, certainly within the online space even more so. In fact, our whole business in ONPASSIVE is built around what AI is going to do and how that's going to help us within our daily needs, whether it's doing something, earning money, helping somebody else, whatever it is. AI is going to have a massive part of that in one way, shape or form. It's integrated now in so many things we do and use that we kind of don't almost see it sometimes. It's just things happen and we don't think, oh, that's AI. Things just happen, don't they? And that is actually what AI is. It is that machine learning that makes arduous tasks so much easier, because you haven't got somebody having to input that type of information to be able to get the results. Interestingly, what Gene was saying now about the guy saying that it's never going to overtake humans because it hasn't got a soul and all the rest of it. I kind of look down the road of AI. Now, most people, when you talk about AI, they think of one thing only, and that is that, you know, your robot, your Star Wars robot and all that. You know, when you say AI, they're thinking of this walking, talking thing that is going to do stuff. And in fact, that's more further from the truth than what AI is used for now in so many things that we use. I look at it now is that I think the big difference that I think that will never ever happen is humans have gut feelings. You know, we have intuition. We have, you know, when something's not right, we feel it inside, you know, or we have a gut feeling. Computers don't have gut feelings. They look at things in ones and zeros. They're very pragmatic. They are given information which is put into them from human beings, or it is imported from other areas, and they make quite literally a decision based on those forecasts. It doesn't necessarily mean it's right or it's wrong, but that is what their best guess is on the percentages of what the information they have. With humans, we look at things differently. For it, I'll give you a perfect example. When you are talking to somebody and you get a feeling something's not quite right with what they're saying, you have that gut feeling, whether it's their mannerisms, the way they talk, the way they're looking, all these types of things give you a gut feeling. I personally believe that computers won't be able to replicate that. And before people saying, oh, they'll be able to analyze dilated pupils and looking to the right and left, yeah, they will be able to, but it still won't get away from that gut feeling that humans have about certain things, you know, that don't make any sense, but it's not quite right. And I don't think that will ever be replicated within the AI industry. Over to you, Andy.
I think you've also made a point there about jobs, and a lot of people seem to be frightened about the fact that AI are going to take many jobs away from people. In reality, what it'll actually do is take away a mundane job, but bring forward different opportunities. So it's a case of being able to retrain to do different things. You know, you're not going to sit there and pack boxes, because the AI technology and robots will be able to do that for you. So, you know, it's not something that frightens me. Yes, we've all seen the Terminator, and you know, at the end of the day, people do get frightened about that fact. And the AI will always be used, or try to be used, for nefarious enterprises, to steal things or do whatever. But you're quite right. At the end of the day, it will never overtake what we have, and never overtake that inner being, and the empathy that we have, and etc. So it's not something that ever worries me. In fact, I'm excited, because we may not be able to see these new opportunities that will crop up from the AI coming into being, but they will be far easier, if you like, than sitting there, like I said, packing boxes. You're going to have something interesting to do. Yeah, it's a lot more exciting than anything else. Gene, I'm sure you have a few more points that you'd love to add.
Well, I'm really glad Red brought up the intuition, because that was the person who organized this conference in Dubai, Vishen Lakiani. He actually spoke about intuition and how it's this mysterious force. He says it's a skill that we can cultivate in a world overwhelmed with information. Intuition becomes your inner compass, guiding you toward clarity and alignment. So it is, most of us followed our own intuition to join this company. It wasn't, we saw it analyzed, by Chat GPT online as a good opportunity. We had this feeling from listening to our CEO speak, or at that point, it was somebody we didn't even know, perhaps. We just heard his voice. We felt the resonance. Something inside of us said, this is something that feels right. It feels good. Something's telling me to move forward with this. And as Red said, AI can be programmed to pick up on all those imperceptible things, just like we can. What makes someone lie? What are they doing with their eyes? It can be programmed for that, but there is something, I'll say supernatural. There's something outside the physical that humans have that we will always be able to bring to the table. And again, that's what we're here for. We're using AI as a tool that is going to enable us by freeing our time, by filling our bank accounts with money so that we are free to follow wherever our intuition takes us. And that is the glory of using AI for what it was built for. I could say one of the other things that Ash said recently was, don't let anyone else hold the pen when writing your own story. It was in the OES. And another speaker at this event, I'm telling you, everybody, I think humanity as a whole has got their finger on the pulse of great changes to come. And people that are gathering like this to discuss these things, because there's no denying that AI is moving at such a fast pace. You can't just say, oh, we don't have to worry about it. It is something that is happening. So she's saying so many of us live by narratives that we didn't write. Our ancestors, our parents, our teachers, are this, and we have all of these influences affecting the choices that we're making in our life. Maybe we're writing a story of life based on what others expect us to do as a spouse, as a friend, as a whatever. And Ash is saying, which I love it, people should go back into the OES and read and reread and reread again that beautiful post that he made, because it's loaded with wisdom. So he's basically saying, grab hold of the reins, grab hold of that pen, and write the story however you want it to be, because he's making it possible by using this AI and all of these tools and services that are, just not only going to, make our lives easier, but they're going to financially assist us as well. So it's just this beautiful cycle that he has created for us to be able to take that pen and write our own story, and oh my goodness, and help other people write their stories as well. Saying, here's a pen for you, because now you can write it, with no limitations. That's the glory, no limitations. So that's all I wanted to add there.
Thanks, Jean. Again, you've both touched on this about gut feeling. How many of us listening and that got into ONPASSIVE on that gut feeling? For me, my aha moment was listening to our CEO talk, and that gut feeling inside me said, I can follow this guy. This guy knows what he's talking about, and if I follow him, we're going to go a long way. That was the gut feeling I had at that point as well. Yes, I answered an advertisement, but I started listening to some of the bits and pieces, and that made a difference to me. So, hand on heart, how many of us actually got into ONPASSIVE on a gut feel? Yeah, it's quite impressive, really. So, Red, what would you like to add?
I'm going to pick up actually up on something you mentioned about AI taking people's jobs. We hear it all the time. Oh, them damn machines, they're taking my job. I can't get a job because there's some machine doing it for me. Well, actually, mate, they're actually doing the job that nobody wants. That's the reality when machines start taking, and not always, but the general reality is that machines are brought in because they're more efficient. They work 24/7. You don't have to, they do the same thing day in, day out. And they're normally very, very mundane jobs. The only time you find very heavy workforces are in normally the poorest countries, because wages are cheap. You know, labour's cheap, so they employ labour rather than putting machines in. I'll give you an example. A friend of mine, he's a director of a company called Forest Fencing, and they supply most of the DIY big stores here in the UK with timber in the likes of fencing panels, round timbers, decking boards, sheds, gazebos, all these sort of things. All of that to make it is hugely labour intensive on a normal basis. They get trees in, they have to core them, they have to put them into battens or whatever they need to, and then that then has to be made into fencing panels or whatever it is. All that normally takes jigs, labours, air guns, all the rest of it. Hey presto, as time's moved on, guess what happens with those lines? Where they got 20 guys making 6x6 fencing panels, now it's all automated. Comes in, turns it around, nails it, chucks it out. You need 2 guys, one for putting in at the beginning, one for taking out at the end, and it's got rid of that. Now, the reason I'm saying that is they haven't got rid of the 20, quite the opposite. Most of the labour came from abroad, Poland and other countries, from economic migrants, and a lot of these people have gone back now. But the average guy here in the UK wouldn't work it. Too hard work for the money. They didn't want to do it. So they were actually forced down the route of looking at their options as far as a business is concerned. How can we produce what we need to at the right price for the public and survive? And the only answer to that was, we need to go down the AI and machine route to facilitate what we've got to make. And this has been normalized now, I think, quite a lot across a huge amount of companies. It's not just making fencing panels. I mean, whatever industry that you now look at, there is a certain amount of AI and machines that are automating the process, because we just can't get the workforce to do the jobs at the rate that we were doing it before. And so machines have come in to do that job. So where does that leave the workforce? Well, it leaves the workforce to concentrate more on being the operator and not the labourer. And that is more and more where now people are moving into, and they love it, because they're not busting a gut every single day in a mundane job that they hate, that they have no input into whatsoever. And now they are the person who is using their training, their knowledge to do something that's productive. They have a much better work-life basis of mixing the two together, because it's not something they're doing just for the money. I think everybody will agree that if you ever find a job that you love doing, you don't feel like you're going to work because you love doing it. The money is a side element to it, you know, but if you love doing what you're doing, then you go to work. So just to finish off, for me, I've never thought that AI and machines have taken people's jobs. I think what they've done is filled that gap where we couldn't find the labor to do it. And as time's progressed, we've seen, yes, we do, more and more automation within the industries, a lot more. And that is because we are now using us, the humans, to do other better jobs rather than those mundane ones. Back to you, Andy.
Thanks, Fred. Yeah. Fishing. I'd love to know how they would use AI for fishing. I just had a thought. You sit
They'll
by the
find a
side.
way.
Yeah, well, they sit by the side of the bank with a fishing pole in, and they have all these little tricks about what to throw in the water to attract the fish. I don't think AI is ever going to take that one from them, but yeah. Sorry, Jean. Please carry on.
Well, as Red was talking, it reminded me of, I think we can all remember back in the day before people had, like businesses had records on computers. You know, it was all in like, you know, ledgers or whatever. And then, you know, it's just say you would go to the doctor's office and they would have to re-look up everything, and you'd be like, oh, isn't that on the computer yet? And then once everything got onto the computer, they could look it up really quickly. And then there were the, you know, if you don't have a website for your business, you're behind the times. And then once people got websites for their small businesses, they saw that, oh my gosh, we can reach more people, we can put our products on and sell them that way. And then when COVID came along, then people realized they could do so much more sales through a website where you didn't have to have a storefront, you know, and then so many businesses are transforming themselves from that storefront into fully online. And you see all these changes, and then AI it's just one of those changes. And so as people, you can either say, I don't want to do that, I'm afraid of that, or you can embrace it with the realization that, you know, used in the right way, and we know our company is using it ethically, honestly, appropriately, and everything. You're using it in a right and creative way, that it's going to benefit your business, it's going to benefit your life, it's going to be, so it's really like a way of looking at things where just in the very short amount of time, I would say the last 5 to 10 years, things have transformed from fully like paper and pencil type of things to a fully online existence. And my personal feeling is that we're creating this everything you need online so that we can then live our lives in the physical. It's not for us to live fully in a virtual world where we're always behind a mask and never going out and touching each other, you know, and hugging each other and being with people. I think it's to free us to be able to have those relationships and experiences all around the world, traveling and all of that. It's to free us to do those things. So any fears people might have about things moving totally into a virtual setting, it's all tools, it's all things with the ultimate goal of freeing humanity to do what they're best at. Just like Red said, you know, those guys that used to be the laborers can now be the brain, the brain trust of those companies, the ones that create a better gutter system, that create a better fishing lure, that create a better whatever it is. The human potential has not even been tapped one iota. It is just so, we're just not even anywhere there because we've been so bogged down with this day-to-day grind of jobs. With this company, we'll be able to be free to really like reactivate our brains and start using the full potential of it. So it's pretty darn exciting to think about what the AI that we're using in this company and why it's being used to financially free people, time freedom, all of freedom, what people are going to be thinking about. And I'll swing it all the way back around to my favorite platform in the company, which is currently called Academy, where people will be able to, oh my gosh, learn, explore, teach things we don't even know exist yet. There's someone out there that knows something. They're going to get on the platform and start sharing it. So I could talk all day about the expansion of people once they're able to use that, from children to 110 years old. I don't care how old you are. You're going to love that platform. Anyway, I know I went all over the place with that.
It's good. You're right. We use something ridiculous like 1 or 2% of our brain capacity. It's minute. I know in my case it shows, but that's not the point. The point is we have all of this other capacity to take advantage of at some point, and it's coming. You know, it won't be long before we have things like learning helmets, where you put a helmet on and you've learned a language overnight while you sleep, or you know, this type of scenario could be. But you made a good point, Gene, and I love this. All of these things have happened, and everyone goes, "Oh my god, the world's going to end." Like Y2K with the computers. You know, at the year 2000, everyone goes, "Oh my god, the computers are going to finish, and what are we going to do? What are we going to do?" And then all of a sudden, it comes and it goes, and nothing's changed. You know, now the difference here is that all of these scaremongerers that go, oh my god, all that AI is going to take all of this stuff. It's just going to morph into something more exciting as time goes along, and you know, that's got to be great for everybody, because it as you said, lifts the whole of humanity, because we'll be using different parts of our brain perhaps to learn different skills, to do different things, and take advantage of this creativity that we all have inside us. Any final comments, Red?
No, I think for me, my final comments is that AI is certainly something to be embraced. It's certainly something that you should all be used to now if you're part of ONPASSIVE. It has always been almost the forefront of all of the technology, integrated into every single one of the components of our products and services. And it is certainly something that you should know about, but definitely not be scared about. And don't forget, as Gene said, we are going to use it in a very ethical way. This has been promised from our CEO. There's not going to be any hidden agenda for what we are making, producing, and for the users. It is all been designed in a good way, and certainly not in a bad way. Back to you.
Excellent. Yes, thanks, Fred. Any final comments that you'd like to add, Gene?
Sure. I just want to say that in addition to what Red just said, it's going to bring the fun factor. AI is going to free us up. It's going to ease our minds. It's going to just allow the stress to melt away, and we'll be able to enjoy our days and be creative and have fun living our lives. And that's something to look forward to and to embrace right today. People can have fun with, you know, say a chat GPT or something like that. It's fun. It's fun being able to look things up and explore topics. And that's what we have to look forward to, is just more of that. It's going to be fantastic.
Thanks, Gene. I also like the idea of being able to have a mentor, because AI is going to be our mentor. You're trying to build a website and you've got AI going, well, why don't you put that there, or why don't you add that there? And for me, it's the AI bit is going to do the bits that I don't understand how to do. It's going to help me do those things that I don't know how to do. So it's phenomenal that we need this. And as you said, Red, we've only used AI in the most ethical way, and that was the object of the exercise, to make sure that it is utilized in the correct way, to be able to do the things that most of us don't know how to do, like marketing or accountancy or whatever it might be. The fact is that it's going to be there to help us along the way. So thank you guys for joining me again, and thank you all for coming, and please do like, share, and subscribe to the channels. And by the way, don't forget our heroes on Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern time.
Talking of Sunday, before we go, it is a certain brother of ours' birthday on Sunday.
Big boy.
I wonder who. My little puppets might make an appearance.
Yeah.
Yes, we won't mention his name.
Give you a clue. He's normally got a hat and glasses on. Right. Anyway, enjoy, everybody, and we'll see you soon. Thanks now.
Everyone. Thanks, Andy. Thanks, Red.